Hello, and welcome to the Voices of Bellevue School District podcast, where we amplify the voices of students, staff, and families, sharing their unique lived experiences to strengthen our Bellevue community. In each episode, we'll explore We Belong, significant cultural traditions, customs, and lived experiences of our beloved Bellevue community. We learn academic programs and innovative initiatives, along with the staff and students behind them. We lead discussions with leaders in our community on topics that drive innovation in education. Hi, everyone. On today's episode, we're highlighting a special mural that sits in the heart of Bellevue High School. This mural was initiated and created by students in the Black Student Union and is a prime example of student expression through art that incorporates rich layers of culture, history, and identity. You'll hear directly from students who share their feelings, hope, and pride, reminding us that building a beloved community takes real work, advocacy, allyship, courage, and commitment. At times, the vision may feel aspirational or even unrealistic, and yet, this is the work, supporting our students as courageous creators who help us imagine what's possible. Listen to the conversation I had with Bellevue's teacher, Hannah Yale, and 3 BSU students who are the catalyst in bringing this mural to life. Through this mural, our students remind us that Black history is our history, American history, and it takes hard work to build a beloved community. And in Bellevue, we are learning to belong. So for the listeners who haven't seen the mural yet, can somebody describe the mural, what its meaning is, the symbols, the colors, and then just maybe some information on how it got started?
Yeah, I can start there. I'm Hannah Yale, AP art teacher at Bellevue High, and I was sort of the consultant to help students create the mural. The mural has several historical figures that connect back to King County or Washington State, and then is mostly filled with designs that students created themselves. The background has the colors of Pan-African flag. Thank you. I'm going to say that part again. The background is colored with the Pan-African flag colors, red, green, yellow, and black. And at the bottom, it says, Black history is our history. And I'll throw it to the students to add what they'd like to add.
Yeah, I can go. My name is Swafia Twahir. I'm a senior at Bellevue, and I started the mural, I guess. I had the idea because in Miss Yale's art class, in her AP art, we have the opportunity to make murals throughout the school. Most students do fun little doodles and designs in the bathroom stalls or on some doors or in like major places that people can see that are like motivational and stuff like that. But I had a slightly different idea. It was 2023. I believe that Bellevue High celebrated their 100-year anniversary. And being on leadership, on class office and ASB, I was able to be behind the scenes and kind of see how that celebration went. And I was there the whole day, and I got to see all of the Bellevue High alum, and it was really cool. But what I didn't see was any recognition of the Black students or Black alum that went to Bellevue all those years ago. And me and a previous student, Tendo Lumala, went on a little deep dive, and we found some of the restrictive land covenants written for the land that stands, that Bellevue stands on. Yes, the land that Bellevue High stands on, which stated no person other than members of the Caucasian race are allowed to use or occupy this land. So obviously that was quite frustrating to hear and listen to. So I tried to turn my anger into something that I wanted to see and I came up with the idea to have a giant Black History mural in the most looked at part of the school, so that we could have students in the future who feel a sense of disconnect from the history of Bellevue that isn't necessarily talked about. They can have something to look at and connect with in a way. So I started it. I started talking to Miss Yale, and we had so many ideas. And then as president of BSU, I implemented those ideas into BSU, and we started brainstorming, and all the students came together. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
My name is Abigail, and I'm one of the students who's just obsessed with art, and I personally just draw at home and paint. And I did have like two art classes, and I thought like that idea Sophia has is actually like it's a really good idea, because I've been wanting to like paint in the hallways and everything, and I think that mural it's like building like a legacy for us, like because back in 100 years no one has put like anything like that before. So I think this is like a great move for us, and I feel so proud for Sophia for like presenting that idea. And like, so at least like even if 100 years to come, like a lot of people be like, oh my god, who drew this, like oh my god, I want to see them, like we'll be at least honored, and like people will be thankful that we did that and represent like other Black people in Bellevue district. Yeah.
Nuha, would you like to add something?
Oh, I don't have anything else to add.
No? So when you discovered that that treaty and that information, you talked a little bit about how it made you feel. What made you, or how did you, a lot of people wouldn't feel that they had the agency to do that. So how did you get motivated to actually do something about it? Because most people sitting at home think, oh, what can I do as a student? So
Yeah, I think I definitely had the support for it with Miss Yale and the BSU as a whole, and Lorenza McKinney and all of the Black and brown teachers and staff at Bellevue. I was also just way too angry to really think about repercussions, if I'm being honest. So it might have been a little bit of an impulsive decision to do, but yeah, that's what I think.
But it grew into something really beautiful. So I'm glad you followed that impulse and that we were able to help it grow into what it is today.
Yeah, I really didn't expect it to become such a huge thing and have it like come together since it's complete. Like, it's massive, first of all. I also, it's not entirely like what I envisioned. What I envisioned was something quite small, and something that was just kind of a silly idea that I had in art class, that I thought would be entertaining and would be kind of cathartic for me, turned into something that was representative and powerful for a lot of students, especially given BSU for Bellevue this past year.
for people who can't see it, can someone describe the mural, just if the listener is on a walk, on a hike, listening to this podcast, who can describe it for us?
They're all looking at me. So the mural is located in the main, the wall leading to the main stairwell in our common area. So students walk past it every day. It's probably about 6 feet high, 12 feet long. It has an area that has Black Power fists and some abstract design in the Pan-African flag colors. And then it's sort of decorated with portraits of historical figures that are relevant to our area, including somebody that could have been included in that 100-year celebration. Donald Phelps was the first Black principal to work for the Bellevue School District. He was the first Black secondary principal in the entire state of Washington. And in reading his biography, he quit the district after 6 years, citing racism as his reason for leaving. And so I thought that was an important history to put on there. So along with the portraits, we have text. So it's sort of like a teach-in on the wall about the history. But then it's largely filled with figures, designs, phrases. Black is beautiful is up there. I'm Black and I'm proud. Some logos for local organizations like CORE, Black Lives Matter at School, and Common Power, which is a Seattle-based organization, all sort of representing the history of Black people and Black presence and Black history makers in our area.
In the context of the 100-year celebration that you mentioned earlier, and the fact that that cultural reference for Black people, Black folks, was completely excluded, can anyone else say how that made you feel?
I like, with my siblings and obviously and other black students and who are also my friends, we'll go to BSU and talk about like the history of like how many people came to Bellevue and stuff like that. And I didn't really know that much like about the history, and but like the more I learned, and then I went to like I'm going to Seattle. Like they have more like this intense groups. Like they have, oh, they do this, they do that, and I was like, I really want to do that in Bellevue, and I'm willingly like I'm trying to make this like this new thing called ASU too. It's also like I want to combine it with BSU, African Student Union. So also African kids can be welcomed, because I'm speaking from experience and I'm really angry about that, because African kids usually get bullied the most and been called slurs and names, and I think they also belong in the school. And I just think it's a really good idea to like unite those two like clubs, so like everyone can be like accepted. So yeah.
Yeah, I can add on to that as well. I think there's always been, and I guess will probably continue to be, a sense of, disconnect, or a sense of not belonging in Bellevue School District, being a minority, and especially in Bellevue, where we have such few Black and brown teachers and students and staff. It's kind of unspoken. It's kind of a community unspoken feeling that we all have, that it's just, we do not belong here. And finding that history and finding that, oh wait, this is actually, there's like a few reasons to this, and is history to this, and you know, it's more than just a feeling, really was validating, but also frustrating, you know, knowing that I wasn't necessarily wanted here 50 years ago, and people that looked like me weren't allowed here 50 years ago. And then, which kind of connects to the mural in a way. It's more of just the fact that it's there. You know what I mean? It's evidence that Black people are there.
So what would you say to people that would say to you, hey, we can all just get along, just get over it. Like, this is 2026 and we, you know, do more to be included, do more to feel included. It's on you to make sure you're included. What would you say to someone who would say that to you?
You should go. Actually, you should go. You didn't say anything. You should go.
I feel like that kind of ignores I feel like that kind of ignores all the racism that still exists now. Like, even like now, going out in the streets as like a Muslim, for example, people will assume I'm like Somali, right? And then say stuff. Or like that racism still exists, whether because of like different social environmental situations going on in the country. And it's not just on Black people to have to figure it out. It's also like you have to make the contribution in order to prevent these things, because like they have more privilege than we do.
So do you think people try hard enough to be educated and figure it out? Or do they just default to it's your problem, it's our problem as Black people or people of color?
I think it's way easier to default. I think that doing research and doing work, it takes time that not a lot of people have, and it takes effort, and it takes brain power, and it's not easy. So I feel like people that say that are in a large position of privilege and power where they are able to blame it on external things or blame it on somebody else because they haven't experienced what others have to the extent.
Hey BSD, we'll be right back after this short break.
If you've been enjoying learning about the BSU mural at Bellevue High School, don't miss what's coming next. In our upcoming episode, we head to Sherwood Forest Elementary to explore a brand new mural created with heart, history, and community pride. Hear directly from the Sherwood Forest community as they share how they partnered with a local artist to bring this mural to life, one that truly represents the spirit of the Sherwood Pumas. Tune into the Voices of Bellevue podcast wherever you listen to podcasts and discover the stories behind the art.
I won't say that my experience has been absolutely all terrible. I've had my most enjoyable and most fun and exciting memories of high school come from inside of the Bellevue High School walls, specifically within BSU. Shout out to Bellevue High BSU. But having that community is a game changer. Having Black friends is so nice. Having people that get it, because, you know, it's not only Bellevue School District. I'll say I'm off to college next year, probably going to PWI, being the only Black person.
What does PWI mean for people who don't know?
Predominantly white institution or college. So being the only Black person in the room, then again, I'm bound to experience some negative things. It's part of being a Black woman in this country, and it's part of being Black in this country, but I think I'd be nowhere without BSU and without the Black community that was formed here.
As administrators in the room and educators in the room, how do we respond to this? How do we create spaces where our students can feel seen and heard? What do we do? If we draw back to the mural, I would imagine that was one of the big driving forces for you getting involved with the mural, right?
Yeah. So I think what the adults in the room do is what Abby said: is we listen, and then we don't just hear. So when Sophia had this mural idea, I went right to Lorenzo McKitty to talk about it, and we scouted out a wall, and I was like, I want this to be big. I want this to have a presence. I think this needs to be a space that essentially is like for students to be able to say, we are Black and we're here, and we won't let you erase us. And that was what I was hearing from students about, what was driving this mural. And so I think for white educators like myself, I'm the only white person in the room at the moment, it's to hear and listen for things that we don't intuitively know. I don't intuitively know what racism feels like, and so I need to listen that much closer in order to understand what my students are trying to express to me and to help them solve the problem that they don't yet have the tools or the background, like administrative knowledge on like how do I even deal with this thing that I'm bringing to you. So step one is listening, and step two is listening with the intent to act in the name of students.
For the student artist in the room, what parts of yourselves, your identities, or your experiences did you bring to the mural? And what does it feel like to see your work in such a large, visible space that you talked about earlier?
I think if you end up seeing the mural, I draw a woman who's carrying something on her head, and there is a pot, and then there's a pot next to it. And I chose that specifically because of back in the old days, and back in Africa, and how like women, how they express themselves and how they wore. She has like really long dress, and it's supposed to be like more of a creamy whitish dress. And I just think the art that I drew, it represents something like gold and like golden, and like just a form of like creativity. Like the pots like represent like actual craft, like she made it herself, and there's something that she carried on top. And they call, I'm gonna just say it's like Swahili thing. Do you know how they say it?
What?
Like it's like there's this like big pot they used to like put what's this? They put rice, and then they do like this.
What are you talking about?
It's
You're
called
making an up and down gesture.
Yeah.
What's it
it's
called?
called unga. Ungo. It's ungo.
Oh.
It's ungo, where like something like that. Yeah, they do this, and then like they. Can you like help me, because I don't really know.
I'm not the
language.
best at Swahili, but
I'm low-key the best.
You're better than me.
I am fluent in
Do
Swahili.
we need to use Dr. Chat? Nuha, did you put anything on the mural that you want to tell us about?
I painted a black Muslim girl just because I painted a black Muslim girl just because I feel like that's kind of hard, because there's like it's a really like being black in the Bellevue School District is already being a minority like within itself, and then being Muslim underneath that and being visibly Muslim is like another layer. Like it can feel kind of isolating as well. So I thought for like diversity, I thought that would be nice.
I can't wait to really see it and take that in, because what you just said, shared, was powerful.
I can add on a little bit as well. So starting the mural, I wanted it to be big, bold, and voluptuous, and fun, and full of color. Let me think. So I started on the left side of the mural with 3 black fists in all different types of shades, which I absolutely loved painting. And then behind it, I believe I made a rainbow. But the rainbow is only 3 colors, which is the Pan-African colors. And then above it is kind of like, as Miss Yale said, like a little bit of a abstract kind of vibe. I took inspiration from African tribal patterns. My ancestry, I'm from Kenya. My mom and dad are from Kenya. And I really wanted like some of that African lineage, as Abby said, to be represented in the mural. So I thought that all of that in culmination, especially the 3 black hands in different shades, was really powerful to me. And walking past it every day is really empowering, because I'm able to see something that came to fruition from my idea, but also is just like my work that somebody is able to see every single day. And even like while it was going on, it's been up for a while. So now students like walk past it and they don't like look closely. But when it was being painted, there were so many students gathering around, like looking at the tiny details and stuff like that. And that was so cool to see, because you have all this research and stuff that we did and all of this information about local Black history that a lot of people don't know that is actually being shared.
To add on to that, and I get what you're saying, honestly, because I feel so proud to like put my art somewhere, because it's been a dream for me. Like I love drawing, I love painting, I love crafting and everything. I just love doing that, and I feel so proud to like people just admiring my art and our art, you know, the BSU art and everything. And even when I was drawing, like I would low-key invite my friends so they can join me to like at least paint. Like I want to like contribute everybody else. It doesn't matter what race. I invited my friends to like help me paint my art, and I feel so happy that I let my friends know, like, oh hey, like you can also contribute on this mural too. So yeah.
It's gotten a really positive reception from staff too. Like as I was being worked on, or if I was in there just blocking out background color, doing the boring parts.
That we did not want to do. Right.
Yeah, I did the boring parts of the mural. But staff would stop in their tracks and have to say something. Everybody that walked by, even if they were heading somewhere, heading to a meeting or something, they had to admire it, ask, when it's going to be done, and how excited they were to see it, and how seeing that much color right there in that main hallway made them feel. And so it's had an impact not just on the students who made it, which you just heard, but on the staff as well, and students as well that get to witness it every day.
As president of BSU, I love bribing people with food to come in to meetings. But, with the mural, people wanted to come and they wanted to participate. And I had students asking me on Wednesdays when we were going to work on it. And that was so cool. And I think by far one of my favorite parts is the hands. My beautiful hands. Again, handprints all over the edges of the mural, which is by far my favorite part, because above all, this mural was meant for Black students, and knowing that they helped create it and they are proud of it to put their own name on it was super meaningful to me. And also just having my hand next to everybody else's hand and being part of something.
What impact do you hope that this mural has on the school community? And what conversations or future actions do you hope it inspires?
I think what Sophia made, and Tendo, obviously, it has been a big move from 100 years ago. And from forward to now, I think it's probably going to move more staff teachers to be more engaged with the students, because they also need to know maybe there's something going on. Are you okay? What's going on? Do you feel safe? I think we just need more of the staff, the more the staff teachers be engaged with the students, with the Black students, the more it'll be better for us, and also to be heard and seen.
BSU means so much to me, beyond paint on a wall or food and some music. Even though I'm very excited, very, very excited to leave this year and graduate, it's always going to be something that I will remember and value as an experience. And I hope that after I leave, BSU continues, and the work on the bottom of the mural, it says Black history is our history. And I hope that that sentiment continues, that we are one. Even as a school with not that many Black students, even with the horrible things that some Black students have experienced, we are one.
Well, I look forward to the day when you guys come back to the mural to see your work and to speak on it, because you've got something to say. And I'm glad to have listened today. So thank you.